Then what we might get is
someone's got to do it. Someone's got to do it. Sex maniac. One word from her and I'll be sneaking round the back. So I'll keep knocking on her front door. She lets me in once, I'll be back for some more. Someone's got to do it.
those we care for don't go away. They walk beside us every day. Unseen, unheard, but always near. Still cared for, still missed, and very dear. Good afternoon and welcome to you all. My name's Diane Jones and it's my privilege today to lead this service as you all meet to say your final goodbye to Lawrence Colin Reddington. However, he was known to many of you just as Larry Red. We'll remember all those happy times you shared with him. It'll be a service especially for him, the ceremony that those closest to him wish to be a joyous occasion. Want to commemorate everything he was and everything he always will be. Such was his energy and charm, he made a lot of friends along the way, as we can see today. We'll hear of his creativity, of his success as a musician, and we'll hear some of the music that defines him. Due to the extraordinary times that we're living in, there are many friends that can't be with us today. And there are also those who are watching via this webcast, so we say hello to them and know that if things were different, this chapel would be overflowing with all those who knew him. However, I know that you've brought them along with you in your hearts and in your minds, and we know that they'll be thinking of us as we're thinking of them too. So Larry, we dedicate this service to you. Music to me can be loud like thunder in my head. Music to me can be soft and draw me to my bed. Music to me is life, music to me is strong. Music to me makes me feel like I can do no wrong. Music makes you full of sorrow, or it makes you full of joy. Music makes a better tomorrow, or makes you awfully coy. Music makes you fearless, and music makes you tearless. Music can make you a star. And music to me is when you see who you really are. And we're going to start the tributes. Now Ron wants to come up and speak about his friend.
Are you surprised? Of course not. Okay. This is a potted history over a period of 70 odd years that I was aware of Larry and knew Larry, and it goes something like this. Larry was born in 1941 and therefore qualified as a war baby. He was brought up in White Road County in a district known as Sunnyside, and was the only child of Nellie and Colin Reddington. I was raised nearby on Marshall Road, and my earliest recollection of a young Larry, a bit older than me, passing by my house on his way to and from the junior school, and then after passing his 11 plus to Southfield Grammar School, clever little bugger that he was. I can't say that we struck up an instant friendship because it didn't turn out that way. Although I knew he was interested in sport, I can't ever remember him doing sport over the local recreation ground with other kids, so we can assume that he was a studious type with a passion for other things, such as music. I once asked him as he passed by my house what he had struck to his back, and the brief reply was a French horn. French horn. So he was musical, and since I was taking piano lessons at the time, we had something in common to chat about, and he seemed happy for me to have the very occasional chat whenever our paths crossed, which wasn't all that often, to be honest. On leaving school, Larry, I understand, was articled to begin his working life in an office at the Pressteel car factory, obviously being groomed for greater things. But after a short while, the opportunity to make headway with a top local band proved too much, and he ditched the factory job in favour of fame with a life on the road as a drummer with the Spirits, a top local rock band. This was followed by a period with another top local band, the Falling Leaves, and then prison, and so on and so on. And so he became well known and respected as a talented, versatile percussionist with a flair for entertaining through his musical talent, his personality, and his ability to entertain. In the early 70s, by invitation, I found myself playing a bass guitar and vocals alongside Larry with a Billy Collins band. And so began several years of local gigging with Billy, Ted, Doug and Larry. Much of the material a bit 50s and 60s, but Larry and I, with an emphasis on strict dance tempo, Larry was never out of his depth and provided the drive and versatility that was required in a five-piece show band. On a lighter note, I remember Larry from behind the drums would occasionally, for devilment, silently alter some of the words to give the words of the song a different meaning. Larry had a natural talent for lyrics, and anything especially topical or political got the full treatment. I do believe at some time Larry got a regular job at the car factory. And rumour has it that he spent many years working towards his gold watch, which is a custom, so I am led to believe. Is that right, Gary? Yeah. He said I could have it, actually. Didn't you? Yeah. But I lost contact for quite a while, until the music box appeared with Gary and Larry at the helm. All of us will no doubt recall our visits to the shop. Never forgotten. And the unscripted conversations that took place, usually between Gary and Larry. There was pure theatre, with Larry playing the uncompromising father figure and Gary the errant son. Sorry about that, it's true. Where are we? Yeah. But we all knew that they were rock solid together. Larry was previously been occupied with a place in the Steamroller lineup and had been busy composing a remarkable list of brilliant blues songs, all penned by him. In 2015, I was by invitation once again reunited with Larry through his newly formed Mad Larry Band. It was always a pleasure helping to show off his case, his stuff, and even record some of Larry's songs. And we're working alongside all the guys in the band, all brilliant musicians and lifetime friends, as far as I'm concerned. Sorry about this. Being a single guy for much of his life, Larry was blessed with many good friends and acquaintances who did much to lighten his load at times, especially when he needed someone. So a special mention here for Carol, another super lifelong friend of Larry's, who did so much before and since his passing. And I'm sure there are others that I'm not aware of. In more recent years, Larry, along with Gary and a few others, organised jamming sessions in a few of the more progressive local pubs. Always in attendance at such events, Larry joined in the entertainment with drums and vocals. Sadly, with Larry slowing down after a triple heart bypass, 2017, I believe, the band finished after 3 years of gigging locally. I'm sure there are plenty who were closer and knew more of Larry than I did. It is though with greatest pleasure that I count myself as a lifetime friend. And I'm sure that there were many more who respected and valued his friendship in the same way. County Road will never, ever be the same without him, sat outside the shop on a sunny afternoon, chatting with the customers and friends, and offering a cup of tea from the tea room. From the tea room, yes. Wonderful memories, Lawrence, old boy. Now you have a good rest, well deserved. Thank you. Sure.
However, every opportunity he had, he wanted to play music. Along with friends, eventually, he said there were the Falling Leaves, and so began a life of gigging all over the country. They loved it. It was much simpler times back then for forming a band. You just did. And everybody wanted to be in a band. The difference for Larry and his friends was that they made a success of it. The information that Carol gave me led me to looking for press cuttings about him and the band. And there could be no better tribute for me to read than to read what was written about them. The Falling Leaves became one of Oxford's best-known pop groups. The unlikely combination of two factory workers, a hairdresser, a carpenter, an electrician, and one full-time musician worked its magic on audiences far and wide. The rhythm and blues group was formed in late '63, and their chosen name was a variation of that of one of their favourite bands, the Rolling Stones. It wasn't long before they were appearing at Oxford's three main dance venues, the Town Hall, Carfax Assembly Rooms, and the Forum in the High Street. And it was Mick Jagger and his fellow Rolling Stones who helped establish the Falling Leaves as a popular support group. In June '64, they were booked to play with the Stones at the end-of-term Magdalen College commemoration ball. After that appearance, bookings began to flood in from all over the country for the group, with them supporting stars such as Manfred Mann, The Animals, and Mike Berry, and spending many hours on the road travelling between gigs. They were the resident band at clubs in Newcastle upon Tyne and Portsmouth, and were often at a venue one night and another the next. They appeared on the ITV talent show Ready, Steady, Win, and recorded on the Parlophone label. I Think She Loves to Be Loved was one that they did. They also supported Billy J. Kramer and Gene Pitney at the New Theatre. During an appearance at the 100 Club in London's Oxford Street, there was another break for the group when Jack Bruce, playing with another group, received an electric shock from his guitar. There's nothing new with Jack Bruce, was it really? His fingers were burnt and he was hurled 6 feet across the stage, knocked unconscious, and was unable to continue. The Falling Leaves, who'd been booked to play for just 45 minutes, stepped in and extended their performance to an hour and a half. We went down a bomb, their manager Adrian Hopkins said afterwards. They even came to the rescue when Cilla Black was suddenly taken ill. Cilla was due to appear in the Billy J. Kramer show at the New Theatre in '64 when she caught flu. She was told by her doctors to stay in bed, and the promoter frantically rang around London agents to find a replacement act. One suggested the Falling Leaves, who they'd recently signed. When Adrian arrived home in Magdalen Rome for his tea, his mum told him there'd been an urgent phone call from London, and after making more phone calls, he set off on his motorbike to round up the group. Isn't that so wonderful, rock and roll? The first of 2 shows that day was almost over when the group arrived in the theatre's makeup department. There were a few boos and some cheers from the audience when the theatre's general manager announced that Cilla was unable to appear and that Oxford's own group, the Falling Leaves, would appear in her place. The group, which, as we know, specialised in R&B and not the beat style that was featured in the show, and they made a nervous start. We weren't used to the size, Rod Stephen explained to the audience after the first number. But 2 songs later, he was able to say, "We're glad you've accepted us. I still had a bit of steak in my mouth. I hadn't finished my dinner when I was called out." As I said, rock and roll. By the end of their act, the audience had warmed to them and screams punctuated their last number. The show's regular musicians, who had extended their programme during the first half of the first house of the evening, applauded from the wings. The Stars of the show were also enthusiastic. Jean Pitney said they're great, and Billy J. Kramer bestowed the highest Merseyside accolade, their gear. They then left the theatre as they'd arrived in a hurry. Adrian explained, "We've just got time to make our next gig, Marston Village Hall." Eventually, the constant travelling and gigging began to take their toll, and the group decided to call it a day and go their separate ways. The last performance of the Falling Leaves, acclaimed as Oxford's first group to hit the national scene, was in Birmingham in September '66. And as we've heard, Larry then went on to be a drummer with Steamroller, playing all over Oxford again, and all the other groups and the different guises that he appeared in. His later years were taken up with the Mad Larry Band, his own band, singing, songwriting and loving performing. He was still gigging until lockdown began last year, wearing his trademark black hat, dark sunglasses and back gloves, and shaking that tambourine. Although he was a rock and blues man, he'd always wanted to visit the music capitals of the States. And so it was that Carol said to him, well, why not? So off they went, Nashville and Memphis, Larry singing in bars and Carol dancing along. And they even made the trip by Greyhound bus to Graceland. And a couple of years later, they went to New Orleans when Mardi Gras was taking place. The tributes that I've seen paid to him on different Facebook pages and different social media show the high regard that he was held in the local music world and further afield. He will definitely be missed. You will all have your own special memories of Larry, so let's take some time to think of those as we listen to our next piece of music from him, Larry himself with A Cowboy's Lament.
Shotgun on the overland stage out from Deadwood. But I was so drunk I couldn't have hit a pond dog. And I got the 12-bar blues. I got the 12-bar blues. There's a lady called Sadie who never says maybe in Deadwood. She says, come on, Jack, let's go round the back for some fun. There's another called Lulu, knows just what to do down in Deadwood. Senses, my job and my shotgun. And I in the sand on the floor. And I got the 12-bar blue. I got the 12-bar blue. I don't mean maybe. I got the 12-bar blue. And it don't matter mostly.
Found a tambourine, drum and whistle. Started thinking maybe this will be the sign that I should start myself an R&B band. Grabbed my drum kit from the attic, made a proper pleasing racket, and my mum, she must have loved it because she screamed and waved her hands. All my instruments together, if I'm careful and I'm clever, are a guarantee of fortune and will propel me to the top. Now, the only thing I'm missing is an audience who will listen to the magic of my music without begging me to stop. So let's not stop and have our next piece of music from Larry again. And this time, it's Dangerous Man.
Away from me, baby. I'm a dangerous man. Keep away from me, baby. I'm a dangerous man. I'll make you love me, girl, just because I can. Keep away from me, baby. You're on the wrong track. Keep away from me, baby. You're on the wrong track. I'll make you want me, girl. Ain't no going back. Away from me, baby. You know you're playing with fire. Keep away from me, baby. You know you're playing with fire. I'll make you want me, girl. You got your soul on fire. So if you see me coming, you better step aside. So if you see me coming, girl, you better step aside. I'll make you want me, girl. You've got no place to hide.
We've now come to the part of the service where we say our formal goodbye to Larry, often the hardest part. So if I could ask that if you're able, you all please stand. Larry, Into the freedom of the wind and the sunshine, we let you go. Into the dance of the stars and the planets, we let you go. Into the wind's breath and the hands of the music maker, we let you go. You are loved and you are missed, and we want you to be happy. Go safely, go dancing, and go running home. May your journey be gentle, and may you travel without fear. May you take the face of everyone here as a companion for your journey. Larry, it is with great sadness in our hearts and inspiration for having known you that we let you go. May you now rest in peace. Please be seated. Today we've only managed to cover a small part of Larry's life. I'm sure that you'll be able to recall plenty more fond memories of him later, and then once the summer comes and the music festivals start again, I'm sure that you'll all be there playing for him and with his music. He will be remembered for many good things which will bring that smile to your face. And you shouldn't be afraid to still laugh, smile and enjoy and share those wonderful memories. But he leaves behind for you a great heritage and legacy, his music, and that will continue to live on. As we now near the end of our service, hold on to Larry in your hearts and in your thoughts. Talk about him often, play that music, and keep those memories of him. If you'd like to make a donation in Larry's memory, you're asked to do it to the British Heart Foundation, and the details are on the back of your order of service. The memories and love I leave behind are yours to keep. I have found my rest. I have turned my face to the sun, and now I sleep. Our service is now at an end, and as we prepare to leave, we do so to the final piece of music, and it is, quite appropriately, Hats Off to Larry by Del Shannon. Thank you.